Hello and welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Alexis and I'm a certified Warriors V's teacher. Today I'm here to guide you through an all levels yoga class designed to help relieve stress and tension within the body and the mind. So go ahead and come into a comfortable seat, whether that's legs crossed or legs straight out in front of you. Ground down into the sits bones, sit up nice and tall. Inhale the shoulders forward and up, exhale them back and down. Inhale the shoulders forward and up, exhale them back and down. And then bring the hands into a comfortable position where they're on the knees, palms up or down, in the lap if you'd like. You're welcome to find an unmoving point and soften the gaze or gently close the eyes if you'd like. So just taking a few moments here to settle into our practice and begin to ground down. Breathing nice and slow. Inhaling, feeling the belly expand outward. Exhale, feeling the belly release. Inhale, belly expanding outward. Exhale, belly release. Remaining here with the breath, staying open and curious to the inhales and the exhales. If you find your mind wanders off on a thinking adventure, that's okay. Just bring it back to the breath, back to the inhales and exhales. Just remaining here with our breath for a few more moments as we ground down and center into our practice today. Taking another deep inhale here and setting an intention or a purpose for your practice today. It can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale here for that intention with heart and with mind. Exhale that breath out slowly. Release that intention. Set it off to the side of our mat, knowing we'll return to it at the end of our practice. Good. Inhale, sweep those arms out wide, bring them up overhead, cast that gaze skyward. Exhale, twist over to the left, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the body, curve your head around, seated twist. Inhale, let's come back into center. Exhaling over to the right, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the body, curve that head around, seated twist. Inhaling back into center, exhaling over to the left again. Still sitting up nice and tall. Inhaling back into center, exhaling over to the right again. Inhaling back into center. Exhale, drop this left hand down to the mat, fingers facing outward. Exhale, lean over to the left, reach through those right fingers. Ground down into that right hip, feel that side body stretch here. Gently press into your left hand. Shoulders down away from the ear and breathing. Inhale, let's come back into center. Switching arms, drop that right hand down, fingers facing out. Exhale, lean over to the right, reach through those left fingers, shoulders down away from the ear. Again, grounding down into our left hip, feeling that opening in the left side body, gently pressing into that right hand and breathing. Good. Inhale, coming back up into center, arms up tall. Exhale, hands down to the mat, rolling over the knees or kicking the feet out to the side, making our way into tabletop. Hands are beneath shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees are beneath hips, tops of the feet are on the floor. Inhale, let's sink the belly, lift the head and the hips, coming into cow. On the exhale, lift the back, sink the head and the hips, coming into cat. Inhaling into your cow. Exhaling into your cat. Taking a couple more rounds here. Inhaling, nice deep cows. Exhaling, nice high cats. Feeling that undulation of the spine here as we begin to warm up and get ready for the rest of our practice here. Allowing your breath to guide the movement and going at whatever pace is best for you. Taking one more round, full cow, full cat. And then we'll meet back into our neutral spine, back into tabletop once more. Good. On the inhale, let's tuck the toes. On the exhale, let's lift the hips, coming into our down dog. Let's go ahead and walk that dog out, bending one knee and then the other, opening up the backs of the legs here. Taking a nice deep inhale, nice deep exhale. Good. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, let's gently come into stillness here. So ground down into the hands, all 10 pads of the fingers, gently grip the mat. Hips press high, heels reach toward the floor even if they don't touch. Head is between the arms, gaze is at the mat beneath the belly button. If your back is rounded, go ahead and bend the knees, press the chest toward the thighs here. Take a nice deep inhale. Let that breath go. Good. One more deep inhale. Exhale, drop those knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. Let's sink back into a child's pose. Elongate those arms, forehead moves down toward the mat, even if it doesn't touch. So take a moment here and check in with the body. Notice what's present. Is there a particular sensation that's calling your attention today? And if there is, where in your body does it reside? Just noticing. We're not trying to change or judge that experience, but really just be aware of what our bodies are trying to tell us today. Take another deep inhale. Feel that torso expand against the thighs. Exhale that breath out. Good. On the inhale, let's go ahead and make our way up into tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, coming into your down dog. Good. On the inhale, look up between the hands, lower the hips down toward the mat, bringing the heels over the balls of the feet, bring the shoulders over the wrist, coming into plank. You're one long line from your heels to the crown of your head. Your core is engaged. If you need, drop the knees down and untuck the toes to modify. Elbows are just slightly bent. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, bend at the elbows, keeping them tucked into the sides, lower all the way down to the mat. Good. Inhale, slide the elbows forward, plant the forearms on the mat, lift the gaze and the torso, coming into your Sphinx. Good. Draw the elbows toward the body, release the glutes, tops of the feet are on the floor. Shine forth with the chest and breathe. Take another deep inhale. Good. Exhale. Let's come back down to the mat. Hands beneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Using knees or pressing straight up. Inhale into your plank. And then exhale into your down dog. Excellent. On an inhale, let's sweep that left leg high, coming into your three-legged dog. Ground down into the hands and that bottom foot. Press through the heel of the left foot toward the top of the room, no matter how high the leg goes. Take a deep breath. On your next inhale, look up between the hands, bend the left knee, step that left foot forward, turn that back heel down, or I'm sorry, let's keep the back heel lifted, and then inhale, come into your high lunge here. So front knees bent in line with the foot, in line with the ankle, back leg is nice and long, eye of the knee presses toward the top of the room here. Arms are up, shoulders are down away from the ears, hands can also be at heart center. We're feeling a pull or a stretch in this right hip flexor and breathing. Good. Turning that back heel down so it's parallel with the back of the mat now, bringing our arms out to a T. Welcome to warrior two. So front knee is still bent in line with the foot, in line with the ankle. Back leg nice and strong. Knee is slightly bent. Arms are out. Shoulders are down away from the ears. They can also be at heart center if you prefer. Hips and torso are nice and open here, and we're breathing. Draw those thigh muscles together without actually moving the feet. And feel yourself in this power pose here. Good. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Let's surf forward through the fingers, hinge at the hips. Front hand down to shin, ankle, or mat. Back arm up, nice and tall, coming into triangle. So that top arm reaches up, palm is open. Hand can also be on the hip if this is bothering the shoulder. Imagine rotating this top shoulder and top hip toward the back of the room here, out behind you. So you're getting a nice opening in the chest. This front knee is just slightly bent. So not locking out the joint, but just finding a slight bend in that knee, grounding down through that bottom arm and breathing here, feeling that stretch to the inside of the front leg. Excellent. Inhale, top hand comes down neutral. So make sure your front foot is out at a bit of an angle. You want to be able to see your shin here. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, let's sink down into that low lunge here. So front knees in line with the foot, in line with the ankle. We're feeling that pull through the front of this hip here. Yeah, even deeper stretch in that hip flexor. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Hands can be on the hip, on the thigh, or up overhead, whichever you prefer. And we're breathing here. If you find that your knee is overextended over the ankle, go ahead and heel toe that front foot forward slightly. Yeah, so that knee and that ankle are nice and in line. Good. Inhale, hands come down to the mat. Let's shift our weight onto that back knee. Straighten that front leg, flex that front foot. Bring the weight onto this back knee. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale, nice flat back. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lean forward with the heart. Fold forward over this front leg here. Good. Coming into runner's lunge. So keeping those toes flexed toward the shin here. Pressing forward with the heart center, not rounding the back, but instead really pressing down, feeling that stretch to the back of the legs. If you've been doing a lot of sitting lately, you're going to feel this stretch. Breathe into that discomfort here. Good. Inhale, let's come forward onto this front foot, tuck the back toes, lift that back leg. Let's step right back into our down dog here. Let's wiggle out those hips, maybe back and forth. Take a nice deep breath, center into your down dog here. Good. On the next inhale, let's go ahead and lift that right leg high, flex that foot, coming into three-legged dog. Ground down to the hands and that bottom foot. Take a breath. Inhale, look up between the hands, bend that knee, step that right foot forward here. Good. And then inhale, let's lift into our high lunge on the opposite side. So again, front knees bent in line with the foot, in line with the ankle, back leg nice and strong, eye of the knee, pressing toward the top of the room. Good. Hips are square with the top of your mat. Hands can be on the hips or they can be up overhead. Take a nice deep breath here, feeling that pull in this left hip flexor this time. Good. Excellent. Turn that back heel down so it's parallel with the back of the mat. Bring those arms out to a T. Front knees bent in line with the foot, in line with the ankle. Back leg nice and strong here. Draw those thigh muscles together without actually moving the feet. Feel yourself ground down here. Arms are out, shoulders are down away from the ears, and breathing. Good. Inhale, straighten this front leg. Let's surf forward through the fingers, hinge at the hips. Front hand down to shin, ankle, or mat. Back arm up nice and tall, coming into our triangle pose. So again, that back leg nice and strong here. Hand is reaching up, palm is open toward the side that you're facing here. Hand can also be on hip if this is better for the shoulder. Imagine rotating this top shoulder and hip back away from you, keeping the chest nice and open. Front leg is straight, just a slight bend in the knee here. So we're feeling a stretch to the inside of this front leg. Good. And breathing. Bottom arm is nice and strong. Good. Inhale, top hand comes down to the mat. Bring that back foot up onto the ball and then drop that back knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, let's come up into neutral here. Again, make sure this front foot is out at a bit of an angle so you can see your shin. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen through the spine. On an exhale, let's sink down into this low lunge here. Front knees in line with the foot, in line with the ankle. That back knee is kind of dragging back toward the back of the mat as we feel this stretch through the inside of this front hip flexor here. Good. Hands can be on the hips, on the thigh, or up overhead, whichever you prefer. And then breathing. Nice. Inhale, hands come down to either side of that front foot. Shift your weight onto that back knee, straighten that front leg, flex that front foot. Let's walk those hands back slightly. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, flatten that back. Exhale, hinge at your hips, lead with your heart, fold forward over this front leg, coming into runner's lunge. Good. Hands come down to wherever is comfortable, keeping those toes flexed in toward your shin here. Good. And breathing. And again, not rounding the back, but instead really flattening the back and pressing forward with the chest. That's going to deepen that stretch to the back of this leg here. Yeah, you're going to feel it. Taking a nice deep breath here. Good. Inhale, let's come forward onto that front foot. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, lift that back leg. Let's step right back into our down dog here. When we wiggle out those hips, move from side to side, take a nice deep inhale. Exhale that breath out. One more deep inhale. And then on the exhale, drop the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. Let's sink back into a child's pose. Elongate those arms, forehead down to the mat here. So again, checking with the body, noticing what's present. Is there a particular sensation that's calling your attention? And if there is, where in your body does it reside? Just noticing. Again, we're not trying to change or judge the experience, but really be open to what our bodies are trying to tell us, what they're trying to communicate with us. Nice. All right, inhaling your way up and making your way into a seated position here. So we're going to do some boat pose here today. So we have a couple different versions of boat. Please do what works best for your body. So grounding down into the sits bones, sitting up nice and tall here. You're going to engage the core and you can lean back here and you're doing boat, feet still on the floor. You could lift one leg or the other. You could lift both legs, or you could come into high boat. Good. So finding your version of boat, whatever that looks like for you, finding that balance point. And imagine there's a string pulling your chest up toward the top of the room here, keeping you nice and lifted. Back is nice and flat. It's going to make the hip flexors work and the core work, but that's what we're here for. Hands can be wherever. This is most comfortable for me, but they can also be down at the sides. They can be at heart center. Or if you need extra support, hands can be beneath the knees here. Good. Let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Engage in that core, feeling the burn. Good. One more breath here. You're doing great. Good. Inhale, drop those feet down to the mat. Wrap the arms around the legs. Press the belly into the thighs. Lift gaze and chest. Seated cow. Exhale that forehead down to the knees. Hollow out the back and the belly. Coming into seated cat. And then inhale, let's come up into neutral. Good. So we're going to go ahead and bring the soles of our feet together. Yep. It doesn't matter how close the feet are to the body, but bringing those soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to fall open wide. Ground down into the sits bones, sit up nice and tall. And then on an exhale, hinge at the hips, lean forward over the legs here, coming into bound angle pose. Excuse me. So we're not pulling ourselves down, but instead we're just letting gravity do the work. So just ease into this posture here. Hands can be on the mat or the floor or on the feet, whatever you prefer. You can tuck that chin, bringing the crown of the head down toward the floor. And just see if you can breathe into the tightness of the hips. We're going for a nice little hip opener here. So breathing nice and full as you do and easing into this posture, seeing if you can let go of tension with each exhale. We'll just be here for a few moments. Good. Take one more deep inhale here. Let that breath go. Good. Plant those hands on the mat. Go ahead and press your way up into center. Bring those hands to the knees. Fold those knees shut. We're going to step the feet out in front of us, about hip width distance apart, and then lean back onto the hands here. And just windshield wipe those knees back and forth, just releasing the hips, releasing the glutes. Yeah, good. This isn't a very complicated stretch, but it does kind of massage out the glutes and release the hips from that deep stretch you're just doing. Good. We're going to go ahead and make our way onto our back. So if you need a drink of water to towel off or to put on socks for final relaxation, now's a great moment to do it. We won't sit up for the rest of our practice. So coming onto our back here, let's tuck our knees into our chest, wrap our arms around the knees here, giving ourselves a little hug. If you'd like, you can roll from side to side, getting a little roly-poly action going on here. Good. Coming into stillness, let's drop those soles of the feet down to the mat. Bring our arms out to a T here. And then allow those knees just to gently fall over to the left, coming into a nice, gentle reclined twist, and allow the gaze to turn over to the right here. Breathing. Feeling that gentle twist through the spine, perhaps an opening and gentle stretch in the top of that right calf or right thigh. Good. Inhale, let's come back into center. Exhale, allow those knees to fall right over to the right this time. Allow your gaze to turn over to the left. Just breathing nice and slow here. Feeling that gentle twist in the spine. Good. Inhale. Let's go ahead and come back up into center here. Let's go ahead and tuck those knees into the chest. Wrap those arms around the knees once more. And then tuck the nose in toward the knee, making yourself a tiny little ball here. And squeeze yourself together. Press the knees into the arms, arms into the knees. Good. And then exhale. Release the back down, head down to the mat. Release those feet down to the floor. And then extend your feet out to either corner of the mat, allowing those hips to roll open, allowing the feet to roll open. Hands can come down to either side of the body, palms up or down, or you can bring a hand to the belly, hand to the chest if you'd like to stay in tune with the breath. Gently closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And taking any other movements or making any other adjustments that you need as you begin to settle into your final relaxation pose here. So letting go of control of the breath and instead just allowing yourself to settle in. Beginning to notice that natural rhythm or cadence that the breath takes on. So notice how fast or slow the breath is moving. Notice how deep or shallow. Notice that quality of each inhale and that quality of each exhale. Just allowing yourself to be fully present with your breath here. Being open and curious to its movements and to the sensations of it. If you find that your mind wants to wander off on a thinking adventure, that's okay. With grace and kindness, just gently bring the attention back to the breath, back to your inhales and exhales. I'm going to get quiet for these last few moments of practice to allow you to have them to yourself. Please know that I'm watching the time and I respect yours. And I'll be sure to let you out of this posture before the end of our practice. So please feel free to completely relax, knowing there's nothing you need to worry about in this moment. Once we surrender, we can get on with the business of being magnificent, trusting that we will be guided by a higher power along the way. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling belly, lungs, chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Taking another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, move the arms and the legs, move the shoulders and the hips, just gently waking your body back up. And when you feel ready, rolling onto one side, pausing there for a moment and bringing back to mind that intention or purpose that we set at the beginning of our practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Taking another deep inhale here and then making your way up into a seated position as we close out our practice together. Bringing those hands into a comfortable position, whether on the knees or in the lap, or perhaps at heart center, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all for allowing me to guide you through this practice. It was an honor. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Thanks for joining me as part of Operation Remote Resilience. I really enjoyed you, and I hope that you enjoyed the class. This video will be available online on the Warriors of Ease YouTube channel very shortly. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a channel, so you never miss a class. And please visit the link in the description of this video and consider making a donation to help keep these classes free for all. It's through support for viewers like you that I am able to do what I do and share these practices with others. I'm Alexis Miller, signing off for Operation Remote Resilience in health, resilience, and connection. I'll see you next time. Bye.